Good morning, and we are on our way to our industrial video shoot. Now, what role will I be playing? Will I be a student? Will I be a teacher? Will I be a parent? Will I be a principal? I don't know. They haven't said just yet, but either way, I'm excited. It's very early in the morning. I've been up since 5:30, been trying to get on the bounce, but I'm, of course, not used to being up this early, not regularly at least. So I'm kind of dragged my feet a little bit more than I would like to admit. There's no excuse. I shouldn't have done that. That's just me being a slacker in that case. Learn from the mistake and then get to bed much earlier when need to. I'm feeling awake, much more awake now. And there's my GPS letting me know that I gotta take a turn in about a mile and a half, or right here actually. Anyways, I gotta get on the bounce. I'll catch you guys later. And we are on our way back home from the shoot. Now, I couldn't get any footage, or I didn't take any pictures because I didn't know what the rules were with that. I mean, they seemed pretty laid back if we were trying to just get pictures and footage of, you know, us doing our stuff, but more so from the case of what are the rules of taking photo and video in high school. There were no students there, obviously, but I just didn't want to risk doing something wrong and then not realizing it. So
in 2 miles, take exit 89 on the right onto I-78 east toward Allentown.
Thank you, GPS. And, you know, just didn't get anything. If I find some pictures online from it, they'll be on my social media, but as of now, it was a lot of fun. I played 3 different characters, so that was pretty cool. It was for a safety training video for the education board, and that was a lot of fun to do. We had some lighthearted moments, we had some dark moments obviously, and we made some dark humor out of like the dark situations we were reenacting, but it was a lot of fun, and I definitely would do it again. Hopefully I get to do it again at some point. But for now, I got a long drive home. I gotta stop at the store and get a pre-workout, and probably also get my headphones because I think I left them in my apartment. But anyways, I'll catch you guys later. And I am back home from the video shoot. I almost said gym, which I'm not back from the gym yet because I haven't gone to the gym yet. Darn it. But, pardon me, I do have my workout shirt, and I do have a thing of canned pre-workout because I'm going to be drinking that, and I just wanted something a little bit different today, even though I don't love canned pre-workout as much as I prefer just, you know, the powdered one I put in my water. But anyway, it was a really fun shoot actually. We shot it at a high school. It was a safety training video, things like that, like dark escalating situations they had us talk about and reenact in some weird ways. I got to play a very interesting character because, of course, I was the one who played that character. You know the character I played. You don't even have to say it. You already know. You already know. If you know me, you already know the character that they picked me to play in a school training safety video. You know exactly the role I was playing.
You already know.
But I also did play someone who got into a fender bender, and I got to have some cool Tom Cruise glasses and got to slick my hair back for that. That was fun. But anyway, today is chest day, and I still haven't even uploaded yesterday's video as I'm recording this because I normally upload them in the morning, and just so that way I don't have to worry about it in the rest of the day. But since I was up so early, I really had to be on the bounce to get to this shoot. I didn't have enough time to actually upload it. So I'm going to drink this pre-workout as that's uploading, and then we're going to get to the gym. We're going to hit chest. We're going to have a good time. I know it. But of course, the first things first is the 25 minutes of cardio. Steady state, level 2 cardio. Always important. And by the way, I had a salad for lunch today. That was pretty good. Buffalo chicken. It was very good, but I wish I would have known there was cheese on it. I would have gotten it with cheese if I would have known that. I didn't really look on the ingredients. They had us order everything off of DoorDash. They paid for it, obviously, but they said, here's the menu, just add it to the DoorDash list. Very good salad either way. I really enjoyed it. The place is called Giovanni's. Solid. Anyway, I gotta get that video uploaded. I gotta drink this pre-workout, and I gotta get to the gym. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. One thing I talk about a lot is how I like to buy video games, more specifically, buy video games in the physical form, true physical form, not like you get a glorified box with a code inside of it that has no real game in it, but something that actually has the game on it that I can put into my game system and play it, whether it be a cartridge, disc, drive, doesn't matter to me, just as long as I can play the game. However, I still do buy games digitally. Now, when do I do that? I actually buy them when they're on sale. If there's a solid sale for a video game that's digital, I'll pick it up, because more often than not, how I treat digital sale games is as if I am getting a rental of sorts. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is when you buy a game digitally, you're buying a license to play it. You don't actually own that digital copy. They can rightfully, or not rightfully, but they can take the game and say you don't have this anymore when they say that the rights of it expired, or they can just cut the game off altogether. But if a game's on a solid sale for like $5-10 and it's a digital download, I tend to get it. And more often than not, this is how I get games that I'm mildly curious about, that I really had no true interest in, but I see clips of the game and go, hey, you know what? This looks mildly fun. It's $5. I'll give it a go. That's how I wound up playing the game Wanted Dead, which it's a very okay game. Definitely not worth anything more than what I paid for it for the $7. Same thing goes with this other game I bought called Werewolf the Apocalypse. It's fine for the $5 I paid for it. If I would have paid for that full price, I actually probably would have been mad, physical edition or not. Even still, though, there are some times when I get a game digitally that I kind of just go, you know what, I would have been willing to pay more for that. That kind of went with when I got my copy of Shadow Warrior 3 recently, and I just beat that game. It's pretty short, but I paid $7 for it, and I'd probably be willing to pay $20. It's not that long of a game, so the value for the dollar maybe isn't that high for many people, so it being on sale is probably a huge benefit. But it's a very solid game. But like I said, cost and time kind of go hand in hand. And I also got this other game called Journey to the Savage Planet. It's kind of a Metroidvania, and it was on sale for, I think, $7 digitally. It's the Employee of the Month edition, which is basically, I think, all the DLC. I haven't played that yet, but I am curious. And we are now back in the apartment, and I have my post-workout snack, same as yesterday. Protein powder, collagen, a little bit of vanilla, almond milk, and some rice cakes.
Some good fucking food.
And that was an awesome chest press. Pump. Whatever. Same thing. Anyway, I definitely need to get this sunscreen off my face because it's making me look pale. Can't really see it in this lighting, but I had a lot of fun with this chest workout, and even though it was very short, very sweet to the point, I felt very in the zone with it. You know what I mean? Just constantly training for a little bit, and it just goes to show you don't need to spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours in the gym to get good results. I feel the pump, as you can see,
is the pump.
I feel pretty strong with what I'm doing. And someone said I'm looking much more lean. I mean, I've only met this person, but they're saying looking good so far, so that's rad. But anyway, I gotta eat this snack. I might make a same thing, but with peanut butter, because I'm craving that powdered peanut butter right now. Not too much, obviously, because I still have to make supper a little bit later. And I also have to run to the store so I can get my kombucha and my anchovies. Thankfully, my cat already has enough food, so I don't have to worry about forgetting that again. That was fun. But I have backup food for her if I ever forget to actually get her the food I want for her. But anyway, I'm going to eat this, watch a funny YouTube video, and get on the bounce for the rest of the day. Peace. So I ran to the store, grabbed my anchovies, and I left a very, very happy boy. And I am back from the grocery store. I can hear my roommate playing Doom the Dark Ages right now. I'm happy he's having a good time with that game. It does look like a lot of fun, but again, I have my principles with that. Anyway, I want to talk about bad movies because I think people don't appreciate bad movies enough. Now, I grade movies on a curve. Like, let's say I'm watching someone's movie that's essentially shot on a home video camera. I'm not going to rate it on the curve of how I would rate something along the lines of Avatar, The Avengers, even things like more independent stuff like Green Room or anything like that. No, I'm going to grade it on that curve. Does it succeed in what it's trying to do? More often than not, people make horror movies with this stuff because they're relatively more fun and cheaper to make and more simple. But there are times where even I will say, okay, this still isn't good. But there's, like I said, there is an importance to bad movies. One, bad movies help us respect good movies even more. Think about that. Like, if we just had, like, where's the curve if we always just are always seeing really, really good films and we never see something that's really bad? Maybe that's why there's movies that people say are bad movies, but I still find them very entertaining because I've seen some absolutely horrible movies. Like I said, I watch movies that are shot on people's home video cameras. I like Premutos, Lord of the Living Dead, a movie that I actually recommended in my underrated horror films. I love that movie, but it's actually overall actually decently made for its budget. Very well made, in fact. However, that dubbing is so terrible. It sounds like the audio I basically have when I'm recording from my phone, if not worse, but mind you. You also got movies like Deathbed, The Bed That Eats. I have this one collection over there called Savage Sickos, which is literally just a bunch of people's homemade horror movies. Again, I grade them on a curve, but still, even on that curve, I wouldn't say they're good movies. Sometimes you can actually find a diamond in the rough. Like Mark Polania and his brother, God rest his soul, they made a movie. Their very first movie was actually their best. It's like that was like their one really good movie, and I love Mark Polania stuff. He's a very low budget horror movie director. He makes movies basically on the budget of the fact that he has a camera, nothing else. To say his movies have a budget is borderline laughable. But that first movie he made, and I hate how I can't remember what it's called, is actually very solid. If you can check, it's free everywhere to watch, so definitely give it a look. And he also made a movie called Splatter Farm, which is exactly what it sounds. But we have to remember that I think it's a great way to summarize this. You need the bad in order to truly appreciate the good. You need the rain in order to appreciate the sun. And that's why I feel bad movies have the place. You know, you got Troll 2, you got The Room, you got Plan 9 from Outer Space. I have a Ed Wood box set up there, by the way. I also have another thing called the Drive-In Discs Collection, and that's a bunch of like old drive-in movies you would like from like the 50s and 60s. You'd go with your friends to see, to just kind of like hang out, have a laugh, not actually really pay attention to the movie, but it's just a night out with your friends. That's another reason why I really like bad movies, because those are the perfect movies for that. Movies you like, they're not that great, but you know what? You sit down with your friends, you just watch them. You can maybe sit down, shoot the smeg, or you can watch the movie and riff on them, Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, which is one of my favorite shows ever, by the way. But just a fun fact, it's a toss-up between these two shows. Mystery Science Theater 3000 or Red Dwarf are my favorite shows of all time. It literally is a fight between the two of them. Because one thing we have to remember is that not every movie is a masterpiece like Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead. This is absolute cinema to perfection. And when we try to scale movies on the curve of comparing it to Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead, almost every movie is a failure, because this is such an awesome movie, my friends. Who doesn't love this movie? This movie is absolutely spectacular. But anyway, you need bad movies. Watch more bad movies. Love bad movies. Bad movies are the coolest thing ever. I love bad movies. Because it's similar to what I said about The Precinct last night. Sometimes when you're watching someone's crummy independent horror film or something like that, you're watching someone who just loves film and wanted to make their own. And that's something I can't not appreciate. Ed Wood, he loved movies and he wanted to make his own movies. Whether or not those were good movies is up for the debate. But even though Plan 9 from Outer Space is one of the most entertaining movies ever made, that shouldn't even be on any list of worst films. Because here's what I consider a genuine bad movie. It's a movie that completely fails to entertain. And you know what? If someone's crappy independent horror film entertains me, then it's succeeded. One movie I know people don't like a lot is the Rob Zombie remake of The Munsters. Check this out. I actually really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was very entertaining. Is it perfect? Of course not. And I truly believe that and that could have been because literally that night I was watching 3 shot on video horror movies in a row. And that was like watching an actual movie. So maybe there's the curve of that. But we need more bad movies. Bad movies help us love good movies. Because like I said, not everything is Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead. Not everything is. Not everything can be. Nor not everything should be Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead, because this is such a masterclass of independent filmmaking that's almost uncomparable. I would love more movies like this, to be honest. I mean, there's a whole production company that makes movies like this called Troma. But again, the reason why I love this so much is because Troma loves making movies. Maybe. But they love the art of film. They know that film is one of the most important arts of all time. So when you see a top 50 worst movies list, don't shrug those movies off. Give them a shot, because you might find a diamond in the rough. Anyways, I got myself ready for bed. But first I'm going to eat something small, because I'm still feeling kind of full from that protein powder, oddly enough. I don't know. Anyways,